question is, are we headed for a Senate confirmation fight for Secretary of State designate Mike Pompeo and his potential replacement at the CIA, Gina Haspel? Let's go with to now Oklahoma Republican Senator James Inhofe, a member of the Armed Services Committee. Senator, thanks for joining us. First, your initial thoughts on this move, which may not have been a surprise per se. It's been long rumored, but certainly the timing is interesting considering all the things going on around the world.
You know, I have to say, Charles, by coincidence, on a completely unrelated subject, I talked to Tillerson while I was over in Africa, and he was meeting with a friend of mine in Ethiopia. And of course, that was before this happened, about a few hours before. So I had no idea that it was going to happen. It was a surprise to me, but you got to keep in mind, these are two strong-willed people with a huge, successful background. And I think that it's, you know, as you mentioned, several times before, he's expressed discontent with Tillerson in that role. So I think he made the decision. I mean, look, right now, we have this thing coming in North Korea that is going to have to be really well done. And if you'll remember, Mike Pompeo was very actively involved in the very harsh words that our president used very effectively to Kim Jong-il. So I think there's a good reason for this.
Also, if you judge by the stock market's reaction, certainly there's an economic component of this as well. That sort of dovetails with Gary Cohn leaving the White House. The sort of Wall Street globalists, for lack of a better term, being removed and the economic nationalists being placed to drive hard bargains. And it looks like the administration is zeroing in on China. We're going way past tariffs on steel and aluminum. We're talking about this unfair trade, particularly the theft of intellectual property. It looks like this administration is prepared to play hardball.
Well, I think they are, too. And by the way, I was in on all that China stuff in the South China Sea just 2 weeks ago. And that is a new threat that the president's very much aware of. And it's going to have to be handled differently than it has been in the past, because we've not seen an aggressive China in quite some time.
Sir, I know also the border wall is something that's extremely important to you, and I've been told you're going to visit in a couple of weeks. Your thoughts on the president's trip there, and there's still some pushback that the administration is getting on this, despite the fact that they've laid out all of the reasons, including the societal costs and the economic costs of not having one.
Yeah, I think he's done a good job of that, and I'm seeing a movement. You know, I was a builder and developer for 20 years down in that very area where he is right now. And so I've been there watching it, and I've been in a first-hand position to see how well it does work. And I think this president, he made a commitment. Every commitment that he's made during his campaign, he is trying to keep, and he's really bending over backwards to do that. So I think he's down there right now making it very clear, we haven't changed, we're going to get it, it's a border wall. Until that time, people are dying, and I've seen this happen before. The people are smuggled across, and they're put into every kind of slavery you can be put into. He's sensitive to that. One last thing about Pompeo. He is so good on the other issues having nothing to do with this issue. I worked with him on keeping Gitmo open. He's a real strong advocate of that. And also I talked to him during the time that this stupid Iran nuclear deal was put together, and he was fully aware of that. So, you know, it just goes back. He's the right guy at the right time.
Right. To your point, President Trump this morning referenced that Iran deal. That's one place where he and Rex Tillerson did not see eye to eye. North Korea, of course, and Jerusalem being the capital of Israel. Senator, thank you very much. Always appreciate it.
Thank you, Charlie.